Hi friends, it's Marcia with Buy Sell Plan. Welcome back to another planning video. We are going to recap the month of September, and I'm going to share not only my October goals with you, but I'm going to share my fall reset plan. I mentioned this in a couple videos ago, and a few of you were very interested in doing a fall reset with me. So I have spent a few hours just really thinking and processing and reflecting on the past few months as far as habits and routines that I have already been working on to improve my health as well as my businesses, so that I have the energy, mental energy, physical energy to be able to do my businesses at a high level and not burn out. That has been my goal all year, is to be able to work at a high level without burnout, because I am susceptible to burnout. And I have burnt out several times over the years in both my corporate career as well as my entrepreneurial journey. So I'm really excited to share it with you. First things first, I'm going to grab my planning tasks. This always helps me to stay on track with my planning so that nothing is slipping through the cracks. So we're doing the monthly planning in this video. And by the way, I have officially moved into my chocolate brown vintage Aurora full time. I know for those of you who've been with me for a while, you're not shocked, are you? I did have, I think, a couple comments either here on YouTube or on Instagram. I can't remember exactly where, but I had a few people say, you're going to be moving into the vintage Aurora. And you're right. I think I kind of knew that when I did my setup video of this. I'll link it if you'd like to watch it. And my plan by setting this up was to still use my Filofax A5, but to also have a planner that I can just write whatever I want in here and not have to worry about covering up information for when I share my planner online on Instagram and here on YouTube. It just doesn't work for me. I tried it. I'm a one planner girl. And this is my unicorn planner, specifically the vintage Aurora compact size. It's my unicorn planner. It's perfect for me. It just suits me. And I love it with my personal wide inserts. And of course, I have several colors of these. So technically, my pink one is my unicorn because it's really hard to find. And I'm so grateful and so blessed that I have it. But yeah, the vintage Aurora is just, you guys, you know me. You know me, right? Next time I think of setting up a different binder, just you have permission to question me on that, on my life choices. Okay, let's get into it, shall we? So first up is my recap for, so I'm doing this in parts. So part 1, 2, part 3, and part 4, which I did not highlight the part 4. I've got lots to cover with you guys. So I like to do this separately before I commit everything to paper. So part 1 is recapping last month. So that's what we're going to do. And then recapping the current quarter and recapping year to date, where I am with my main goals as well as my sales and activity goals. So first, let's get into what my main goals were. So for Buy Sell Plan, my goal was to get some fall dashboards made and in the shop, and we did not have time. Same with my wellness planner. I have a few sketches. It's going to be multiple pages, and I have a few pages already sketched out and planned and mapped out of what I want it to be, but that's as far as I've gotten. So no time to focus on those. And then my third goal for Buy Sell Plan was to upload 8 YouTube videos. I felt like it was a little ambitious when I set the goal, but I felt good about it though. I did end up uploading 5 videos. Just ran out of time. I have a video that is edited. We just need to get that up into YouTube. I have another video that I have filmed that I still need to edit. It's just the time. It's one thing to film, but then it's another thing to sit down and do the editing. So I uploaded 5 videos. Even still, I still wouldn't have done the 8 because I only have 2 extra videos. So yeah, 8 was a little ambitious, especially in the fall real estate market. I just didn't have the time to devote to it. My real estate goals here, I had my top 3 goals was lead generation 3 to 4 times per week. So week 1 I did twice. Week 2 and 3, I did 3 times. And then week 4, I did twice. So I didn't hit that goal. That's why you'll see the pink. Those are where I did not hit those goals. I did, however, make up 31 contacts in September. So that's awesome. And that's been a focus that I've had for a couple of months now, is to make up some of my deficit. So that's a win. And then I wanted to sell 2 houses. Did not do that. We did have, forgot the E on that word there. One of our listings, we did get an accepted offer yesterday, but it is conditional on home inspection and financing until next week. So until September 30th. Today's the 26th as I'm filming this. So on the 30th, the buyers have until the 30th. So that if it firms up on the 30th, then I will have sold 1 house in the month of September, but still didn't hit the goal because the goal was 2. And then to book 2 appointments, and I did. I booked a buyer and a seller appointment this month. All right. And then for my wellness, I was focusing on liver support. I did very well with all of my wellness goals. So I check for liver support, and that is eating low inflammatory foods and more healing foods, a lot of leafy green vegetables, fish oil, extra virgin olive, like healthy fats, very, very low carb. And then any carbs that I did eat were not processed or refined carbohydrates. So I did really well with that. Daily movement, the goal was daily movement. And I didn't exercise every single day. I exercised 16. So between the 1st and the 26th of September, I did 16 official workouts. The days that I did not work out, I was active those days. I think except I had my period where I don't remember where it was, but I was out of commission for like 2 days. Zero energy. Like I could sleep 10 hours and it still wasn't enough. So giving myself grace for that because that's out of my control. But otherwise, I was active on those days. Like we were showing houses because we have some active buyers right now. So, going on appointments and just being on the road, showing houses up and down stairs. And then by the time I got home, I had no energy left for exercise. But I would do stretching at the end of the night, right? Because, I would be a little bit like, not sore, but I could just feel that I just needed to stretch from, being active and being on my feet all day. So I take that as a win because I was moving my body every day. And then the third goal was to prioritize rest. I'm still a work in progress, but I am so much better. So for example, the old me would sit down at my desk. Even if I'm tired and I could feel that I'm tired, I would just keep pushing. Oh, I'll just, 5 more emails, or, even if it's something related to my hobby, I'm just going to, journal. I'm just going to do this, just going to do that. And I haven't been forcing, and I feel really good about it. I'm behind in my journaling. I shouldn't say behind, because really, are you behind? I was very consistent for the last couple of years of journaling every single day, but I did push myself on days that I was tired. I would journal even though I was tired, right? So like I would stay up an extra half hour when I could be getting an extra half hour of sleep because I just felt like I have to journal because I can't have a missed day in my journal, right? And I stopped doing that. I've been prioritizing rest, and that is more important. Okay. Now let's go through I'm just going to put this here so I don't lose my place. So let's go to my KPIs and look at my numbers for last month. I'm using new lighting, so please let me know in the comments how this looks. It's hard for me. I film with my phone and I look at my phone and it looks good. And sometimes then when I go back to edit, it's either too bright or not bright enough. So please let me know in the comments. I would appreciate it. Right, so September, the goal was 140 contacts. I did 171, so I was ahead by 31. And then for leads, 3, goals 23, so minus 20. And then for appointments booked and held, I hit that goal, but contracts signed and firm deals, I did not, right? And then for year to date, I'm behind in my contacts by 161. I was behind by 192 last month, so I've made up some great progress there. My leads, 53, goals 207, so behind by 154. Appointments booked, I'm ahead by 17 for the year. That stayed the same as last month. And then I'm ahead by 11 for appointments held. That stayed the same as well. And then for contracts signed, I'm behind by 3. And then firm deals, I'm ahead by 2. So I lost a little bit of ground with my firm deals, and then same with contracts signed. Now we have, like I said, I booked 2 appointments, a buyer and a seller. They are signing with us. We just haven't done the paperwork yet. So it will get done. All right, so that's how I'm doing with my numbers. Okay, now before I go into my next step, which is setting my goals for the next month, I want to go through my fall reset because the goals that I set for October very much are a reflection of my fall reset because I needed to do my fall reset first before setting my goals for October, November, and so on. And my fall reset is very much, I feel, going to be the rest of this year. October, November, as well as December. And then, of course, I'm going to be reflecting every month. And then we'll see, come January, it very well may stay the same, but it might change just based on what season of life I'm in at that time. Okay. All right. So, fall reset. I don't know about you guys, but I feel fall very much feels like a new year for me. It's very much feels like a fresh start, like after the chaos of summer, because routines sort of are out the window. I tried very hard over this past summer to maintain a routine as well as enjoying my summer. And I feel like I had a pretty good balance with it. Something clicked this year that I was able to have a good balance. But energetically, it does feel like grounding, harvesting, kind of refining. And it really feels like that for me this year because I've already planted the seeds over the last few months because I knew coming into fall, I wanted to have great momentum because in years past, I have basically taken the summer off. Like I would work on my business, but not in my business. You know what I mean? Like reactionary. Show houses when clients wanted to see houses, write up offers, things like that. But I wasn't working in my business as far as doing my lead gen every day and follow up and all of that. So, yeah, I built pretty good habits and routines this past summer. And so my next point here is I built great habits this summer and I want to build off of that momentum, but at the same time, come back to structure and myself. Even though, like I said, it didn't fully have structure over the summer, but I had more structure than years past. So, this fall is all about building more of a structure that is energetically aligned for me. And I definitely feel like the cooler weather, it helps to shift my nervous system towards a more focused action, right? Not reactionary, but it's more focused. I don't know, it's like I said, something just clicked for me this past summer and I'm really excited to continue to bring it into fall. And I have been throughout September. September has been a very warm fall. It's felt like summer. It's been 28, 30 degrees Celsius pretty much all month long. We have had a couple days that it was low 20s or high teens. Does that make sense? High teens. Where it has felt like fall, but for the most part, I'd say 90% of this month was hot. Like I'm wearing tank tops and shorts and sandals. And as much as I love it because I know what's coming, a part of me is like, when is fall coming? But it is here today. It's definitely much cooler today. All right. So part 3, the habits and routines that I'm building now. And these are based on what I have been doing off and on throughout the summer. So number 1 is a morning routine reset. So whether it's structured or more soft, it depends on my energy. So I find some mornings I do better when I exercise before breakfast. So wake up, put my contacts in, brush my teeth, get my workout clothes on, and I will do a workout. If it's a beautiful day, I'm out walking. And then if it's a really good energy day, after my walk, I go to the gym and I lift weights. Sometimes I'll just do the gym, like I'll do the rowing machine, to warm up, and then I'll do my weights, and then maybe I'll walk on the treadmill after, or maybe I'll go outside and walk, or maybe I won't do cardio that day. So those are really good days. But then there's other days that my energy is really low. So then I just take my time in the morning. I make a tea. I don't put pressure on myself that I have to exercise. Like maybe I'll do some light stretching, maybe like a little yoga, gentle yoga routine in my living room, that type of an idea, and then sit down and just spend time with my planner or my journal or something like that. So that is the goal with that. And then, so I wrote down here like walks, gym, yoga, journaling, etc. It's structured around my energy for, how I wake up, because not every day is the same for me. The second focus here is work routine refresh. So this goes for both Buy Sell Plan and my real estate business, but weekly CEO planning time. And I recognize that I don't spend enough time doing that. It's off the cuff. My husband, who's my business partner in both businesses, let's say we're in the car and we're on our way to a listing appointment or show houses, something like that. We talk business all the time. And then we're like, oh my God, we're coming up with such great ideas. And it's like, we should be writing this down. And I always say, like, we need to have like a structured, maybe not structured, but like a scheduled time where weekly we just do a brain dump. And, so anyway, so that's what that's about, because we come up with great ideas and then life gets busy and business takes us in different directions. And then next thing we're like, we should revisit what we talked about 2 weeks ago, type idea. So I want to have a weekly CEO planning time. And this is outside of the weekly planning that I do with you guys. And then focused work versus reactive days. And this is more towards my real estate business, because that can take me in different directions hour by hour in the day, right? So it's not your typical 9 to 5, very structured. Every day at 9, I do this. Every day at 10, I do this. It's every day is different. So I do want to work on having, more focused work. And I do that with my lead gen. Like, I know that every day at 11 o'clock, I'm going to spend at least an hour to an hour and a half doing follow-up. And what I've been doing is like putting my phone on focus mode so that I don't get interrupted with emails and calls. So I'm 100% focused on doing my follow-up calls. So that's emails, DMs, text messages, and phone calls. And it's been working so well. And as you see, I made up quite a bit of contacts last month. I've been very focused on that. Okay. Of course, there will be days that we still have to react to what's happening. But our goal is, so we've been reflecting on those days. Like, is there anything here that we could have prevented had we been more organized or thought ahead or planned ahead, or, those types of ideas? And yes, there's quite a few ways that we could have prevented that. There are some that are out of our control that we can't, but if we can get a good handle on having that more focused work so that we don't have to react unnecessarily, then we're winning. And then reconnecting to my KPIs. So content, sales, energy, etc. I look at my KPIs every single week when I'm doing my plan with me's, and even when I'm not filming, I do look at my KPIs. But am I reconnecting to my KPIs? Not really. I find that I am thinking like about my business plan and my KPIs, and like, how can I perfect this even more, and how can I make it even more specific and measurable to help me in my businesses? So that's something I think about all the time. So I want to actually have like that focused work of reconnecting to my KPIs and tweaking, you know what I mean? And coming up with, I don't know if it's just not like doing a mind map or, brainstorming on like key areas that I'm noticing through my day to day that I could improve so that it helps me with my mental and physical energy to, be able to be consistent with content and my sales goals. All right. And my sales goals, that relates to both buy, sell plan and real estate. And then number 3, evening and wind down refresh. So having phone boundaries has been so good for my mental health. I'm doing digital detoxing. I've talked about this definitely in my last recap video, I think, but definitely in a couple plan with me's. I've shared how I'm not going on my phone really through the day at all. And when I do, I'm focused on what's nourishing me and what's numbing me. And I'm doing so much better at being able to recognize that in the moment and be like, what am I doing? I've been on here for too long. Shut it down. It's not nourishing me. It's not inspiring me. I'm going down a rabbit hole and, shut my phone off. So that's been going really well. And I want to continue with that. And when I do go on social media, the first thing that I'm doing, and I have this rule with myself, check for DMs, engage with followers, answer comments, right? Engage with their accounts, things like that. And then just check in maybe with my favorite influencers, like going on their stories, and then, other like friends, family, things like that. But then everything else doesn't matter. And definitely not going on my phone before bed. That was a habit that I got into, and I have now stopped that. I'm reading before bed every night. All right, gratitude and reflection on the day. I want to get back to that. I used to do daily gratitude and I stopped. So I want to get back to that. And then doing a reflection of the day too, not just what am I grateful for today, but reflecting on the day. What worked, what didn't work, where were my wins, how do I feel at the end of the day, and really checking in with myself. And then more cozy vibes like candles or soft lighting while I'm reading or meditating at night, just to help get my system ready for bed. And that will help me with sleep, because I don't always sleep through the night. And like I didn't last night, the last couple of nights. So I'm feeling it today. All right, part 4 is my October goals. So for my real estate business, I just have two goals: 20 contacts per day and one reel and two carousels per week. All right. So before, with around my lead gen, it was 20 contacts and doing lead gen 3 times a week. My goal now is every day. All right. Because I want to have a good solid start to Q4, because that's what's going to propel my 2026 in my real estate business. And then, yeah, one reel and two carousels. I'm not consistent with posting on social media, and I'm turning that around. For buy sell plan, prep for Black Friday sale. Yes, we're going to be doing a Black Friday sale. It will be our biggest one of the year, so stay tuned. Wellness planner, can finish that, and then one reel, two carousels per week for buy sell plan as well. All right. For my wellness goals, morning me time, phone boundaries, and then reading and journaling. How will I measure this? Because I'm pretty good at setting goals, and I think we all are. But then at the end of the month, when I recap, I'm like, oh, I didn't do that, or I didn't do that, right? So it's important, like, how am I going to measure this? To quote Brian Tracy, what gets measured gets done. So I'm going to be doing my weekly dashboard, which I already do. I will show you. So my weekly dashboard, where I have my work routines, personal routines, and then other routines. So I'm going to be using this section here for obviously my lead gen, because then I can see each week, right? Or each day throughout the week, how often I'm doing my 20 contacts or my follow up or whatever my work routine is. And then same with like health and wellness routines, typically go in here, and then any other routines go down here. So I'm going to be utilizing that, which I already do, but I just wrote it down because that's one of my methods. And then a monthly habit trackers for my movement, like me time, reading, journaling. So I have those set up for the month. So here's my 300. This is movement. I'm just still putting 300 minutes of movement per week, because that is still my goal. So I've got that set up for October, and then my morning me time, and then journaling or reading will go here. And I love doing my stickers. I found these star stickers at a local store. I think the dollar store, actually. Inexpensive, and they come with several in a package, and they're just so nostalgic. So I'm loving using these this month. All right. Okay. Next, what will success feel like this month? And that's not something that I reflect on a regular basis. It's more like comes to me when I've had a few days in a row and then I crash. Then I'll reflect, right? But I want to be reflecting on this more often. So what will success feel like this month? It's going to feel like no rushing, having a calm nervous system, sleeping well, and having stable emotions. I find when I'm not taking care of myself, my emotions can go up and down. Like I'll have one day where I'm on fire. I am unstoppable. I'm getting all the things done. I feel great. My energy is an all-time high. And then guess what? The next day I crash because I didn't monitor my energy, and then it affects how I sleep. And then my nervous system, I'm all like revved up, especially if I have caffeine. So I'm off the caffeine again. And then like rushing from thing to thing, right? It's almost like, have I developed ADHD? Like what's happening? So yeah, that's what success is going to feel like, is these four steps, things, whatever. You know what I mean? And then energy to stay in. This is kind of going to be sort of like an affirmation or a mantra. I'm not forcing results. I'm following a rhythm, and I'm following my rhythm. Every action that I take now is creating compound clarity so that my future self doesn't have to hustle. And that's been my goal for a long time. I'm 50 now. I've been hustling for 30 years. I'm tired. I don't want to hustle all the time. Don't get me wrong. I like the hustle. I used to thrive on it. And I'm finding as I'm getting older, it's getting harder and harder, and I don't want to burn out. So I want to, have that compound clarity. And I feel like I'm already getting there, where I'm able to recognize and stop myself. And I'm just so much more aware of when I'm overdoing it. So yeah, okay. And then this is just breaking down my top 3 priorities. So for real estate, daily 20 value-driven contacts. Again, doing DMs, text messages, emails, and check-ins. Weekly, doing 1 reel and 2 carousels, and this is going to be aligned with the content calendar that I'm building. And then monthly, track my conversion data, which I already do with you guys, and then refine based on what's working. And then a little to do here for me is create a 15-minute Friday review system to evaluate weekly engagement and lead flow. That's something that I haven't been doing. I do my weekly plan with me, but this, my goal with this is it's going to be really deep. It's going to be a lot deeper. And then for buy sell plan, number 1, Black Friday prep. So I need to have an asset list. So inserts, bundles, like, what kind of promos am I going to do? Am I going to have bundles, or is it just going to be on certain thing? We got to figure that out. And then an email teaser and a landing page prep. Okay. And then for our wellness planner, finalize the insert design and usage guide, and then do a soft launch, whether that be through an email or a reel or an email. And then weekly content, 1 reel, 2 carousels. And then I'm going to be another to do here, document repeatable promo steps so that future promos and sales become rinse and repeat. All right. We've been in business. So we incorporated a year ago, August, but we didn't start selling until November. So it's almost been a year. So it's really just been focused on building the inventory in our shop. And we haven't really come up with a repeatable rinse and repeat type structure for promos and launches and things like that. So that's the next step. All right. So for wellness, having my morning me time daily, and it's non-negotiable, because I'm not the kind of person that can just get up and get right to work. I used to, but not anymore. I used to be able to get up and go to work, and I would always do my workouts after work, but I don't have the energy after work. I'm too tired. So that daily me time is crucial. And then evening phone boundaries. So an example here is phone off by 8 p.m. and then like an off ramp, like a gear down routine, reading and journaling. Again, those cozy vibes, soft lighting, things like that. I don't know if 8 p.m. will be the time, but that's just an example. It depends on how many listings and clients I have on the go, but probably like more like 9 p.m. And then read one book, and then weekly goal and journaling check-in. So my to-do for this is a weekly 15-minute check-in. What does my energy need more or less of this week? I'm going to be doing that more consistently. All right, I am very excited. I hope you enjoyed this different kind of structure to how I'm doing my goal planning here, and I hope it's helpful for you. If you're craving a fall reset of your own, let me know in the comments below. It's important to not just set the goals, but build the systems to support them, and that's something through trial and error that I have realized over the years, and which is why I have built my system and opened up our shop, buysellplan.ca, to help others have functional inserts to help you plan your life, so that you have that clarity on what's working and not working for you, and more to come. Still tweaking, always looking for ways to improve. All right, so now I'm going to write in my goals, and I guess it's time to start a new quarter. Oh, I just love a fresh page. New quarter, new month. I'm going to write this in and speed this part up. So if you're planning with me, grab your favorite pen, grab a sip of your bevy. I'm drinking nettle tea, and let's get to it. All right, I'm done. I've got all my goals in here. For my Q4 focus, instead of just talking about how it's about sticking to routine, non-negotiables, things like that, I put my little mantra in here. I'm not forcing results. I'm following a rhythm. Every action I take now is creating compound clarity so that my future self doesn't have to hustle. So I thought it's just speaking to me right now, and I want to look at that and read that every time I open this. Got a few Q4 focuses in here, and now I need to do my September recap. I added this in my setup video for this binder. I didn't yet have this in here. So this is a sticker from Simply Gilded that I put on an Avery tab. And then this, I put it on this here so that I know where my recap is. I love how that looks. Isn't that so pretty? And I've been waiting for a reason to use this sticker, but it doesn't match my normal aesthetic, but it's perfect match for this. All right, so I'm gonna do my September review. And again, I'm going to speed this part up. So if you are also doing your September review, grab a sip of your favorite bevy and let's get to it. All right, done and done. And I think next up, let's go to the schedule section here, is my master tasks and setting up October. I haven't done that. I haven't decorated or anything. I think this video is quite long. I feel like I've been at this a while because it's starting to get dark outside. So I'll do that on my own. This beautiful blue ink that I had in my fountain pen, fountain pen ran out of ink, and I want to use hazelnut brown for next month in my dailies. And I want to use the same brown pen. It's my Ivory Suede by Ellington Pens, but I'm cleaning it right now, so it's just soaking in water, so I don't have it here. But yeah, so that's why I've been using this pen, in case you're wondering. Okay, so let's see. I did pretty good with my tasks. I don't know why. Sometimes I check as I go and sometimes I don't. But anyhow, so that's done. And I'm going to schedule my schedule my month, and then update KPI trackers. I already did that. I'll just show you right now. So I've got all my activity numbers in here, and then my social media numbers in here as well. I didn't do, oh, I just realized I didn't do the difference here. All right, that is done. Back to October. I can't believe it, you guys. 3 months left of 2025. Crazy. Okay, so grab your favorite pen, take a sip of your bevy, and let's dive into scheduling our month. You may not have this, depending if you purchase the sales version of our monthlies for your October action plan. So if you have the regular version, that's okay too. Just, fill that out based on what suits you for the month, and let's get scheduling. Okay, I am done. Main focus for quarter four, my goals, some weekly goals. I just put in, I did like what I need to do every week, but as far as the first week, I did a couple extras, and then I fill this out each week. It's a pretty light month. We actually are going on vacation. We're leaving this Sunday, September 28th. So that's why I'm filming this on a Friday. I usually film my planning videos on the Saturday so I can have time to edit and upload for Sunday. So I'm just doing everything a day early. So we're going on vacation. We're driving down to Nova Scotia, leaving Sunday night. Not sure when we're coming back. We're hoping to stay for Thanksgiving. but we'll see. I've got people lined up to take care of our clients while we're away. Our clients know that we're going away. We just don't want to have a timetable. We're driving. That's why we're driving instead of flying, so that we just have that full flexibility. So yeah, I'm excited. So I've got nothing scheduled this week because our goal is to stay and probably leave on the 14th, be home by the 15th. We'll need a couple days to recover. And then pretty much we're kind of really working 2 weeks out of the month. So I did set some pretty ambitious goals, as I just shared with you. But those are like fall reset goals. And I am going to incorporate them in October. And even when I'm away, I'm bringing my book, I'm bringing workout clothes. I'm going to be, it's fall, it's going to be beautiful weather, and doing my movement journaling, things like that on vacation. So yeah, I will be incorporating a lot of my wellness goals while I'm away. So I'm looking forward to starting it in the beautiful province of Nova Scotia. Okay, that is how I recap my month and set goals for the next month. I hope you enjoyed this. It was helpful and valuable, and I hope that you enjoyed this different format. Like I did more of a deep dive than what I normally do, and yeah, and I hope you enjoyed this fall reset. And if you are doing a fall reset, please let me know in the comments. I would love to know. And is there anything that you're doing that I haven't covered? Because I'm all ears. I will take all the suggestions. I'm always looking for ways to tweak and improve so that I can be super organized and effective in all aspects of my life. Right. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you are new here. Thank you for being here. If you made it this far, you rock. I know it's kind of a long video. I appreciate you so much. Thank you again. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.